Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Right now, while you're sitting here wondering if she's even thinking about you, she is. In fact, she's probably thinking about you more than you realize. But here's what you don't understand. Whether she actually comes back depends entirely on what happens in the next 2 weeks. If you've been ghosted, if she pulled away, if she rejected you and you're sitting here in this anxious loop replaying every conversation trying to figure out what went wrong, I get it. You're wondering if going silent was the right move. You're checking your phone every 10 minutes hoping she reached out, and part of you is terrified that she's moved on completely, that you don't even exist in her world anymore. But here's the truth most men don't understand. Your silence isn't invisible, it's loud. And the psychology of what's happening in her mind right now follows a pattern so predictable I can walk you through the exact stages she's going through from the moment you disappeared to the moment she either reaches back out or moves on for good. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where she is in that timeline, what she's feeling, and the critical windows where one wrong move destroys your chances forever. Issa, before we dive into those stages, I want to be clear about something. This isn't about playing games or manipulating her emotions. This is about understanding the psychology that's already happening whether you're aware of it or not. When you pull back, you're not punishing her. You're creating the space for her mind to actually process what losing you would mean. Here's the truth. Most dating advice will tell you to chase harder, to prove your worth, to fight for her attention. But that's not how attraction works. The moment you disappeared, you triggered something in her brain that no amount of chasing could ever create. And if you understand what's happening in those stages, you don't have to guess. You don't have to panic. You can actually see the pattern unfolding in real time. So, let me walk you through this step by step. What happens in her mind from day one to the moment she reaches out? Ledley, here's why this matters so much. Right now, you're sitting in silence, not knowing if she's thinking about you, if she's moved on, if she's with someone else. Every notification makes your heart jump. Every time your phone stays quiet, that anxiety gets worse. You're replaying the last conversation, questioning if going silent was the biggest mistake of your life. And the worst part, you have no idea if this waiting is even worth it. If you're still watching, you're already ahead of most men who would have chased by now, because here's what happens when you don't understand this psychology. When a woman pulls away and you immediately chase, you confirm exactly what she was testing. You prove that you need her validation more than she needs yours. You hand her all the power, and the moment she knows she has that power, the curiosity dies. But when you go silent, something completely different happens. Women are wired to respond to uncertainty. When you chase, you remove all doubt. But when you disappear, you create a gap. And that gap triggers loss aversion, one of the most powerful forces in human behavior. Her brain starts asking questions it wasn't asking before. Why isn't he reaching out? Did I misjudge his interest? Is he talking to someone else? Those questions create a loop she can't escape. Most men don't realize this is happening because they're too focused on their own anxiety. They think silence means she's forgotten them. But silence is actually the loudest thing you can do. Because while you're sitting there wondering if she cares, she's sitting there wondering why you stopped caring. And that shift from her having power to her questioning if she's losing it is what changes everything. Niall Pace. So here's the exact pattern that unfolds when you disappear. I'm going to walk you through the 4 stages she goes through when you go silent, what's happening in her mind at each stage, the specific behaviors that tell you which stage she's in, and most importantly, what you need to do when she finally reaches out so you don't blow it in the first 5 seconds of that conversation. Because the comeback doesn't matter if you handle the return wrong. Stage 1 begins the moment you disappear, days 1 through 3, and here's what most men don't expect. Her first reaction isn't sadness or regret. It's relief. She feels like she got what she wanted. Space, a break from the tension, and if she was the one who pulled away or rejected you, this confirms she made the right call. She's not thinking about you constantly yet. She's thinking about how good it feels to not have that pressure anymore. What's happening psychologically is this. She's testing. Even if she doesn't realize it consciously, part of her expects you to chase. That's what most guys do. They text. They ask what's wrong. They try to fix it. And when you don't, it validates her power. She thinks, okay, he respected my boundaries. He's not needy. But she's not missing you yet. This is important. Relief doesn't mean she doesn't care. It means she's in a place where she feels in control, and that control is what's about to shift. Here's what you must not do during these first 3 days. Do not text her. Do not like her posts. Do not ask mutual friends about her. Do not post anything that looks like you're trying to get her attention, because if you break the silence in the first 72 hours, you confirm exactly what she was testing. You prove that you can't handle her pulling back without panicking, and that panic kills any chance of her curiosity building later. Your strategic position right now is simple. Stay disappeared. Completely. But here's the thing most men get wrong. Disappearing doesn't mean hiding. You should still be living your life visibly. If you're on social media, keep posting normal things. Don't go dark. Don't delete everything. Don't post sad quotes or gym selfies with revenge captions. Just exist normally. Because in a few days she's going to check. And when she does, you want her to see that you're fine. Not trying to prove anything. Just fine. The power of these first 3 days isn't in what you do, it's in what you don't do. You don't chase, you don't react, you don't give her the validation she expects. And that absence of reaction is what plants the first seed of doubt in her mind. But here's where everything shifts. Around day 4, her brain starts asking a different question. Mine says, days 4 through 7, this is where the shift happens. The relief starts wearing off and curiosity creeps in. She's not panicking yet. She's not even consciously missing you. But her brain is starting to notice your silence. And that noticing creates questions. Why hasn't he reached out? Did I expect him to? Why does it bother me that he didn't? Here's what's happening psychologically. When you first went silent, she had a story in her head. I pulled back, he'll probably text in a day or two, and I'll decide how I feel then. But you didn't text. And now that story doesn't match reality. So her brain has to create a new story to explain why you're still gone. And the stories women create in this phase are where the power starts shifting. Is he talking to someone else? Did he actually not care that much? Was I wrong about how interested he was? The key thing to understand is this. She's not reaching out yet, but she's checking. She's looking at your profile. She's noticing when you post. She's reading into everything. If you post a story, she's analyzing it. If you're active somewhere she can see, she's wondering who you're talking to. And if you've stayed completely silent and normal, that combination is driving her curiosity higher, because there's no clear answer. You're not chasing, but you're also not visibly hurt. You're just gone. And that ambiguity is the most powerful thing you can give her right now. You've made it to the curiosity phase. You now understand more than she expects you to. Most men break here. They see her checking their profile, or they hear from a mutual friend that she asked about them, and they think, okay, now I can reach out. But that's the trap. Because curiosity isn't regret yet. She's interested, but she's not invested. If you reach out now, you satisfy her curiosity without her having to risk anything. You hand her the answer she was looking for without making her work for it. And the moment you do that, the curiosity dies. Here's what to do if she breadcrumbs you. If she likes an old post, if she views your story, if she sends some casual, low-effort text, do not jump on it. Do not treat it like an opening. If you have to respond, keep it short and neutral. But honestly, the best move is not responding at all, because breadcrumbs are her way of testing if you're still available without having to actually put herself out there. And if you respond like it means something, you're telling her she can keep you on standby with minimal effort. But if you don't respond, or you respond so casually, it's clear you're unbothered. Her curiosity turns into something heavier. Week 2 is where her curiosity turns into something deeper. Meet Week 2, days 8 through 14. This is the regret phase, and it's where most men either win or lose everything. Her curiosity transforms into something that actually hurts. She's not just wondering about you anymore. She's starting to feel like she might have made a mistake. Here's what's happening in her mind. She's been checking your profile for over a week. You haven't reached out. You haven't reacted. And her brain is starting to rewrite the story. She's remembering the good moments now, the things you did that made her feel special, the attention you gave her that she took for granted. Now that it's gone, she's noticing the absence, not because she consciously wants you back, but because loss aversion is kicking in. Her brain hates losing options. This is where she starts comparing. She's looking at other guys, whether she's talking to someone new or just thinking about her options. And none of them feel like you, because you're the one who's not available. You're the one who walked away without begging. And that makes you more interesting than anyone actively chasing her. The comparison trap is real. Every guy trying to win her attention is being measured against the guy who stopped trying. And you're winning without even being in the conversation. Signs she's in the regret phase. She starts posting more, especially things she knows you'd see. She's watching your stories within minutes. She's liking things she wouldn't normally like. She's asking mutual friends about you casually. She might reach out to someone close to you just to stay in your orbit. These are signals she's moved past curiosity into something heavier. We're past the halfway point. You now know exactly what's happening in her mind during the hardest waiting period. And here's the controversial part. If she's not showing any of these signs by day 14, it doesn't mean she'll never come back, but it does mean you might need to prepare for the possibility that she's genuinely moved on. Not every woman comes back. The ones who don't usually show you in week 2, no curiosity, no checking, no signals. If that's your situation, ask yourself if waiting longer is hope or denial. But if she is showing signs, here's the danger. Week 2 is when most men break. They see the regret signals and think, okay, now I can reach out, but she's not ready. She's conflicted. She's feeling regret, but she hasn't hit the breaking point. If you reach out now, you let her off the hook. She gets to know you still care without having to risk reaching out herself. The regret stops building. You rob her of the breakthrough moment where she has to make the move. So stay strong. This regret builds until she hits the breaking point. And that breaking point is where everything changes. Days 15 through 21, the reach out phase. This is when the regret hits critical mass and she finally breaks. She reaches out, not always obviously. Sometimes it's a casual text. Sometimes it's a story reaction. Sometimes through a mutual friend. But she's making contact. And how you handle this moment determines everything. Here's why she finally reaches out. The regret has been building for 2 weeks. She's been checking on you, comparing others to you, feeling the absence. At some point, the discomfort of not knowing becomes worse than the risk of reaching out. She tells herself she's just being friendly, but psychologically, this is her breaking point. She needs to know if you're still an option without fully exposing herself. Common reach-out patterns. A casual text about something random. A question about something you discussed before. A shared memory. She'll like something from weeks ago. She'll watch your story immediately. She might reach out to a mutual friend, knowing it'll get back to you. All low-risk ways to re-enter your world without admitting she misses you. Here's the test. She's still evaluating your response. This isn't her coming back. This is her checking if the door is still open. If you respond with too much enthusiasm, if you treat this like a victory, you fail. She's really asking, are you the same guy who chased before? Or the guy who stayed strong? Too eager proves you're still the same. Unbothered and brief proves you've moved on. Ironically, the guy who's moved on is the one she wants. Language templates. If she texts something casual, match her energy but stay slightly cooler. Hey, how have you been? You don't say I've been thinking about you. You say been good, staying busy. That's it. Short, neutral, not rude, but not giving her the validation she's fishing for. Answer questions briefly, then go quiet. Don't ask questions back. Don't extend the conversation. Let her do the work. What to avoid? Don't bring up the past. Don't ask why she's reaching out. Don't say you missed her. Don't explain your silence. Don't apologize. Don't overtext. Biggest mistake is thinking because she reached out, you can relax and go back to before. You can't. The dynamic hasn't reset. She's testing. If you're too available, too eager, or too explanatory, she'll pull back again. You just showed her one text gets you chasing. The frame. You're busy, unbothered, open to reconnecting but not needy about it. Not punishing her with silence now. Just not making her your priority until she proves she's serious. Short responses. Delayed responses. Let her lead the effort. If she wants you back, she has to earn it. She has to show consistent interest, not just one breadcrumb text. If you hold this frame, she either steps up and pursues harder, or she fades. Either way, you win, because you didn't break. Now here's what almost no one talks about. The dark side of comebacks. Minors e. If you've stayed this far, you're ready for the truth most men can't handle. She will come back. The psychology is predictable. But her comeback isn't about you. It's about her. When she reaches out, it's not because she realized how amazing you are. It's because losing the option of you became uncomfortable. Her ego can't handle that you walked away. Her return is about restoring control, not about loving you more. It's about making sure she didn't actually lose. Here's the part that stings. If you take her back immediately, if you act like her text erases everything, you destroy any chance of real attraction. You prove her pulling away had no consequences. She can disrespect you, ghost you, and one text fixes it. That doesn't create respect. It creates contempt. She'll come back, but she won't stay. The real test isn't whether she comes back, it's whether you make her earn re-entry. Most men fail because they've been waiting so desperately that when she returns, they act grateful. Wrong energy. The right energy is unbothered curiosity. She reaches out? Okay. But what has she done to prove she's different? If the answer is nothing, her comeback means nothing. Ask yourself, are you taking her back because you genuinely want her, or because her return validates your worth? If it's validation, you're feeding your ego like she's feeding hers. When she comes back, don't celebrate. Make her prove it. Make her show consistency. She might come back, but only you decide if the door opens. So what does this mean for you right now? Let me ask you this. Where are you in this timeline right now? Are you in the first 72 hours staying strong? Are you in week 2 watching for those regret signals? Has she already reached out and you're trying to figure out how to respond? Drop a comment and let me know your situation. I read every single one. And if you're going through this, hearing from others in the same position helps more than you think. Because here's what this channel is really about. It's not just about getting her back, it's about understanding the psychology so you never feel powerless in dating again. So you can see the patterns, make better decisions, and know when to walk away and when to stay. That's what separates men who get stuck in these cycles from men who break free of them. And remember, you're not sitting around waiting for her to come back. You're becoming the man she regrets losing. You're building the version of yourself that doesn't need her validation to feel valuable. And that version, he doesn't need her comeback to win, because whether she comes back or not, you're already moving forward. So stay strong, hold the frame, and let her make the next move.